Hello and welcome to the channel. Now today's topic is we are going to make a pop-up using custom code. We will make the pop-up using the Jquery. Now on a WordPress site, pop-up can be of different types. For example, you can have a pop-up on a single page, or you can have a pop-up on every page of the website. If you want to have a pop-up on a single page, we will make that pop-up on a custom page template, and as you open that page, the pop-up will show. Or if you want to have that pop-up on every page of the website, you will include that pop-up code into the header or the footer, because as you know, the header and the footer are included in every page of the WordPress. So if you include the code of the pop-up in the header or the footer of the website, the pop-up will be shown on all the pages of the website. The pop-up can be of two types. One of the pop-up can be that as you open the page, the pop-up can appear automatically after 3 or 4 seconds or 5 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever you want. Or you can have a button, and on clicking of that button, the pop-up can appear. And we can have a close button on the pop-up, and on clicking on that close button, the pop-up can close. So let's start the topic, today's topic. Before starting the topic, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, please subscribe the channel. And at the end of the video, if you like the video, you can like the video as well. So let's start today's topic. Now, in the first step, we are going to make the pop-up on a single page. Not all the pages of the website. We will make the pop-up only on one page. To do so, we will create a custom page template for the pop-up, and we will make the pop-up on that custom page. So let's start making the custom page template. To make a custom page template, we will pick up this page.php file and open it in our code editor. Now we will we'll save this file as, we'll give it a new name that will be popup _ page.php, and going to save it. Now here is my page, new page template. To make it actually work perfectly, we have to give it a name. Template name will be pop-up page, and the template is saved. Now to use this template, we'll go into pages, add new page. In the dashboard, we have to log into the dashboard, and after logging in, we will see on the left side we have this pages option, and from these pages we'll go for add new. I'm going to give this page a name, pop-up, and going to select this new template that I made. Unfortunately, this template is not showing in this list, so we have to see why this template is not showing. Let's check that. I'm going to open this template page again, just giving some space here. Now let's refresh the page, and the template is not still showing. Let me see why it's not showing. Okay, now as I can see, the page is in this drop down. Actually what I was doing is I was creating this page template into the wrong theme. That's why it wasn't showing. Now I made it in the correct theme. Now the code to make the page template is this one. We will save as the page.php and give it template name pop-up page and save it. And you can see as we saved it, it is appearing in the drop down. Make sure that you are saving it in the right theme. Now I'm going to click on publish. Now my pop-up page is made. Let's see. You can see two pop-up pages. This one is another one. Let me remove the previous one that I made. Okay. Now let us see. Open it again. Pop-up page. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to view the page. This is the new page template that I made. This page template has some issues. I can fix these issues first and then go for okay, let me fix those issues first in the template. First of all, I need to have this div that will control the width. I am going to remove this content template from this. I'm going to remove the sidebar from the page. And this inner div starts from here and it will end here. Okay, so here we are. Let's refresh and everything will be fixed. Okay, everything is fixed. Now let me give it some content, demo content. I'm copying some demo content from this page and putting it into my pop-up page so that there is some content visible as well. Let's refresh. Okay, and now I am going to make this page appear in the menu. All these things are not part of the actually making of the pop-up, but as I told you, if we are going to make a pop-up on a custom page template, we have to do all these steps. That's why I'm doing these steps. Now the pop-up page is appearing in the menu as well. I click on this page, and now here what I want is, as the page will open, I want after some time, after 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I want a pop-up to appear on this page. The pop-up can contain only the text, or it can also contain form in it. Most of the time what I have seen is the pop-ups contain forms in it. So we can make a form in Contact Form 7 plugin and then we can show it in the pop-up. But before that we are going to make the pop-up first, and once the pop-up is showing, then we will install the Contact Form 7 plugin and make the form as well in this pop-up. Now let's start doing it. In this page template we are going to add some code, the pop-up code that will be shown on the page. So let's start doing it. Okay, in the first step I made this div, my pop-up outer div, that will be the div that will cover the whole screen. Sometimes you have seen that the pop-up, as the pop-up appears, the whole background of the page becomes black, transparent black. So that's what this outer div will do. That will make the whole background of the screen slightly darker, and it is set to display none. Display none means it will not be showing as the page will load, but after loading of the page, after some time, or we can attach it to some click event. So after clicking some button, or after some time, automatically it will appear. It will depend on the code that we will give to make this happen. Now this is the outermost div that will actually become the background of the pop-up. Now let me make the inner of the pop-up. Okay, this div that I placed here is the inside div. That will be a white window in which we will show all the content. And in this white actually block, we want to have a close button that will actually, by clicking on that close button, the pop-up will close. So let me place that pop-up, that close button on the pop-up now. Now this is a div that I placed, and it contains X character. Character X will act as a cross at the top right side of the pop-up, and I am giving it a class CL. Now I will in Jquery I will link this class with an event that as you click on this div, the pop-up will close. Now within this pop-up I am going to give an H1 tag. H1 is the text, and the P tag, that will be some content on the pop-up. Now let's see what is done on this page. Let's reload the page. Let me see why it's not loading. Pop-up page, save it, and visit site. Sorry, the pop-up page. There's the text gone. Let me check. Because it is display none, so that's why it's not showing. So let me remove this display none, and now as I will reload this page, I will see something here. Now I have to, the code is there and the HTML code is there. Now I have to style it somehow. The style will be given in the style sheet of the theme. So let me open the style sheet. Nice sound in the background. Okay, now I am going to have some CSS in this. That CSS will be called Popup CS. I'm commenting this thing. So it's the start of the Popup CSS and this is the end of the Popup CSS. Now let me give some classes here. Now for the outer div, I give it position fixed. From the top it will start from 0px, left is 0px, background is 000. These are our RGB, red, green, blue. As we set them to 000, that means black color, and the transparency level is set to 0.8. So it is 80% visible and 20% is transparent. I'll show you that. The width is 100%, the height is 100%, so it will cover the 100% portion of the screen. Within that div, we are going to have this one. This will be of white color. Maximum width will be 500 and it has padding of 2%. Now let's see how it behaves on this front end. Control Shift R. Now let's see what is. Nothing is happening. Control Shift R again. Let me see what happened to this thing. Which style sheet is this one? Sorry, the wrong style sheet. I'm using this theme, so the style sheet will be from this theme. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this CSS from copy and put it here in my current theme style sheet. Okay, now let's see. Control Shift R. Now my pop-up appear, and it contains the cross and the H1 and the P tag, and it is appearing instantly as I am, but there is no jQuery, so it can't be set as a pop-up. It's a div, static div that is showing on the page. Let's position this cross in the correct position. This is CL. I am going to assign some class to this CL. Position absolute top 0px, slightly downwards, and right 0px here. Now this is my cross. This cross will be used to close this pop-up. Okay, here is my CL, so I'm going to copy this CL and put it in my style sheet, the pop-up CSS. Now let's see. Now this is there. The pop-up is there. It has a black background and a cross button. If I click here, nothing is happening. because no jQuery is yet attached to this pop-up. So one thing missing is that on hover of this cross, it must show a hand. So cursor pointer, if I hover over here, now it will show a hand. You can see it is showing a hand here. This is the magic of cursor pointer. Going to copy this CL, paste it in the style sheet, style.css, saving it. Now Ctrl Shift R. Here we are. This is my pop-up. Nothing is happening right now. Now I have to attach some jQuery with this pop-up. First of the jQuery that I have to use is to actually make this pop-up appear after some time automatically. So to do that, I have to actually write something here in this page. So I'm going to include script tag, starting a script tag. Normally WordPress has its own jQuery libraries already loaded, so no need to include any additional library to make your jQuery work. But if your jQuery is not working, then we will include a jQuery library explicitly. But for now, I don't think so we need to add any library, so we will just directly write the code. Now we started with a script tag, script opening tag, and the script closing tag. Now after that, we actually have written this function. This is the ready function. The ready function actually executes when the page is completely ready. So we'll check with this function, using this function, that if the page is properly loaded and ready for the execution of the jQuery. And within that ready tag, ready function, we'll write this function. The event attached to this function is click. There are two important things to understand about this function. Is first portion, this click represents on which event this thing is going to happen. So we are going to attach this event with click. So as we click, something will happen. This will happen. Something will be disappearing. Click of what? Click of .cl. .cl means .cl class. So the div having the .cl, once we click on that CL, this CL class, something will happen. Something is written within this this block. So what I am saying here is on click of the CL, we will going to do this thing, hash my popup outer dot hide. Hide means making it disappear. So as we click on CL, this outer div will disappear. Where is that outer div? Let me show you that outer div. This is my outer div. So means this whole div will disappear. This one, the whole popup is going to hide. Hide is used to make things disappear. So the whole div, this my popup outer, is going to hide. That means the whole popup will be hidden or will disappear. Let's see, is it working or not? Let me refresh the page. I can see the popup is directly loading without giving any delay, because we haven't written anything regarding that right now. But as we click on it, the popup will disappear. So this is what was the first step. First step is to make the close button work. Now our close button is working fine. Now we are going to write the other code. The other code can be, the pop-up can be visible on click of something, or it can be one more thing. We can make this height more fancy. So I can write 1000. 1000 will be the delay. So as you refresh the page, the pop-up is appearing automatically, and as we click on the close, it will slowly close. So this slowness is actually provided through this 1000. We can write slow here as well. That will indicate, I think, the jQuery slow. Let's check. I'm not sure. Let me check. That pop-up appeared, and clicking on it, good. It is also slow. So slow can also work, or you can give a number here, 1000, 2000, 5000, whatever the number you're going to give will appear, will slow down to that extent. 5000 means 5 seconds. So it will take 5 seconds to disappear. You can see now pop-up is disappearing in 5 seconds. So we can increase or decrease this number to make it more fancy. The close button is working. Now we are going to actually add something. Now there are two options. One thing is it can be triggered automatically after some time. This is the most required thing. People actually want that the pop-up must appear after some time automatically. So first thing that we will do is we are going to make the pop-up appear after some time automatically. So let's do that. Okay, here is the code to make that pop-up appear. So that is the set timeout. That sets the clock actually, delay, and delay of 5000 milliseconds means 5 seconds. So it will delay for 5 seconds, and then after 5 seconds it will execute this statement. This statement is saying that fade in is also, you can see, is the replacement of the word show. You can use show as well, but fade in will basically make the pop-up appear slightly in a fancy way, slightly slower, and the show will instantly show the pop-up. So I can use show as well. Now let's see, after 5 seconds, after 5000 milliseconds, the pop-up will show. But because it is already showing, so that statement will not be doing anything because my pop-up is already showing. So I have to make this disappear. Style display none. Now as the page will load, the pop-up will not be showing, and after 5 seconds the pop-up will show. Let's try this now. Refresh. Now you can see after 5 seconds the pop-up appeared, and it appeared like a flash instantly. Now we can use the previous one that was fade in. Let's do it like that. Now if I use fade in, the pop-up will appear slightly slower. That's how basically the pop-ups appear. You can see slightly slowly. So that's how the pop-ups appear. Now I can click on this close, and the pop-up is closing. This is the first step that we have done. Now second thing is that we can do with this pop-up is I'm going to comment this auto appearance of the pop-up, and I can actually have something here in the text that will make, on clicking on that thing, will make the pop-up to appear. For instance, in this content of the page, I can make it this one. I can give it an ID and can link this an event to this ID. Now open pop-up, and I am going to enclose it in an ID. So span ID open pop-up. Saving this thing. Now in Jquery I have to link the opening of the pop-up to some event. Now I'm going to copy the close event. Click was attached to close. Now I'm going to attach click to open pop-up, and that's an ID. So open pop-up is an ID. To link something to an ID, instead of dot, we are going to use hash open pop-up, and it will show the pop-up. That's the Jquery, typical Jquery. It will show the pop-up in 1000 milliseconds. Show this div having the ID. This hash represents ID. So it is going to show this div in 1000 milliseconds. So let's do it, refreshing the page now. If it is saved already, let me save it. Then I am going to refresh the page and see what happens now. This is the text open pop-up. No class is attached to this one, that's why it's not showing differently. But if I click on here, I can see the pop-up is appearing. I can attach some class to this thing to make it stand out. So it can be a button, it can be something. Let me attach something to this thing. Color FF1234. That's good. Okay, cursor pointer. Here's the class that I made. Let me copy this class, copy rule, going to the CSS style sheet and putting it on this block. This comment block, this comment is only used to actually block it. This thing is not doing anything, but just it's used to manage things. Sorry, it was starting of the span tag and ending of the span tag. That's why the whole text was becoming red, because the starting and closing was not clear. Now you can see this is ID span showing in red color, and as you click on this open pop-up, that will open a pop-up for you. Okay, so we have learned two ways of having a pop-up. The pop-up can appear automatically after some time, or it can be linked to a text or button or a class, so that as you click on that button or text, the pop-up can appear. Now I am going to actually make the pop-up auto appear. Getting rid of this click event and reactivating this auto activation. Now let me refresh, and now the pop-up will show automatically. Or I can have both. I can have both as well. So it can be shown on a click. I am going to reduce the times to some extent so that I refresh. You can see the pop-up is appearing automatically as well, and it can appear on a click of a button now. Two things. Now if I go to About Us page, the pop-up will not appear. Now if I need the pop-up to appear on all the pages, so I have to add this pop-up to the header or the footer of the page. I'm going to open the header.php, and I will place all this code in the header.php, this HTML and this script. I'm cutting it from here and putting it in directly in the header. Any place, but it must be in the header. If it is in the header, it will be included in all the pages, and as you come to the page, the pop-up will load automatically. You can see now if I go to About Us, the pop-up will load automatically. You can see now, but because I have removed the trigger, maybe the trigger will work as well. Yes, the trigger will work on the pop-up page as well, because it's a part of the header now, so it will work in this page as well. You can see it is opening on the click of the button, as well as it opens automatically. Okay, As I was telling you at the start that we can actually link this pop-up, we can have a form in this pop-up as well, so that you can have some sort of, normally what people do is people use this pop-up to actually get the email addresses or the names of the people. They ask them to register, they ask them to send some emails or something like that, or promotional, if people want to have the promotional emails, they are given this pop-up, they are shown this pop-up, and people will fill their names and the email addresses, and the promotional emails can go to them, or the emails having the coupon code or something like that. So to have a contact form here on this pop-up, we have to actually install a plugin called Contact Form 7. The Contact Form 7 plugin is already installed on this site, but to tell you the whole process, I will actually uninstall the Contact Form 7 and then reinstall the Contact Form 7. Now I'm going to uninstall the Contact Form 7 plugin. This is the process of how you can remove any plugin. Now, to show a pop-up, to show a form in this pop-up, I am going to install the form making plugin. I will go for add new. From here I can click on add new, and from here I can say Contact Form 7. Here we are, Contact Form 7. Going to install it. After installation, you have to activate it. So I am activating this plugin. The plugin is activated. As the plugin is activated, you can see this additional option here in the contact. You will go there. One form is automatically made here, so I'm going to use this form that is already made, and I'm going to include this short code of the form into my header.php in this pop-up. Actually, here is my pop-up, so I'm going to include this form into my pop-up. Here is the shortcode. I have placed the shortcode, but unfortunately this shortcode will not execute automatically. Now let me show you what will happen as I include this shortcode here. Nothing happened. It's not showing any form. This thing is called shortcode. The statement or the string starts with a square bracket and ends with a square bracket is basically called shortcode. So to execute a shortcode on our page template directly, we have to use PHP tag, PHP echo, and the function is do underscore shortcode, and everything will be enclosed in brackets and semicolon, and within these parentheses we will have the single quote starting and single quote ending. Here we are. So the whole shortcode is actually placed in the function do shortcode within these single quotes, saving this line, and as you can see, I'm refreshing now. You can see on line number 131 there is a critical error. Let's see what is happened. Do shortcode. Sorry, the PHP has started, but it hasn't closed. So I have to, once I open the PHP, I have to close the PHP. So now the PHP is closed. Let's see what happens. Refresh. Now after 3 seconds the pop-up will appear, and the pop-up will have a form in it. And I can close this form pop-up. I can open by clicking the button. I can go to any other page, and because I have made this pop-up, I know that it will appear after 3 seconds. And that's it. That's how we can make a pop-up using very basic knowledge of jQuery and HTML. Normally what I have seen in my experience that to make pop-up we have to use some plugins, and the use of plugins is where it means actually the plugins include a lot of files in our website, and that those files make the site actually work slow. So instead of using any plugin or any additional jQuery, what we did is we actually used the already included JavaScript jQuery library of the WordPress, and we just called small events, for example the click event and the show function and the hide function and the fade in function, and just simply we made this pop-up to appear after 3 seconds, and it is working fine and wonderfully well. I will actually, this is the code that I have used in this lesson. I will include this code as a resource of the video description, so you can download this code and use it on your website. This is a simple code that you can actually simply use to make the pop-up appear on your pages, on a single page or on every page. Thanks for watching my video. If you like the video, please click the like button. Feel free to subscribe the channel. I am going to make many useful lessons as well. In the next lesson, I was planning, in next 1-2 lessons, I am actually planning to make a whole website using Elementor, and the lessons will be coming soon. So please subscribe my channel and hit the like button, so that and the bell icon, so that you can get timely updates of my videos. Thank you so much. Bye for now.